Hi friends, today I am here to discuss some interview questions on the naive Bayes algorithm. Okay, the first question is why is the naive? I am sorry, it's a spelling mistake. Why is the naive Bayes classifier called as naive? Okay, so why this naive word is introduced in the naive Bayes classifier? So now the naive Bayes classifier it makes two assumptions. Okay, the first assumption is the target classes they are independent of each other. The resulting classes like the classification classes, it is naive Bayes makes a assumption that they are independent of each other. Like say we have a rainy day. Okay, so the weather can be both windy and humid. Okay, so naive Bayes classifier it takes these two feature where windy and humidity it will take it as independent, like it won't consider like on the same day it can be windy and it can be humid. It will consider this both these features as independent, and then it will try to classify as whether it would rain or not. So the target classes they are independent of each other. Okay, now the second assumption is that the target classes have an equal prior probability. Okay, so it's important, so they have an equal prior probability. Both these classes they have equally, they have high probability of happening. So before calculating the posterior probability, the classifier gives the same prior probability to the target class. So the naive Bayes is we call it as naive, or like in other words it's a idiot. That means like it doesn't assume anything much. It makes very simple assumption, and so it's a generalized form of Bayes theorem. So therefore the naive Bayes is named as naive. Okay, so now the next question is like can the naive Bayes algorithm be used for regression? Okay, so generally you will see naive Bayes algorithm is used for classification purposes. It's not used as a regressor. But these days like some modification can be done and it is used as a regression. But primarily naive Bayes algorithm is used as a classifier. It's nowhere it's used as a regression as a regressor. So it is considered one of the best classification models provided it follows certain conditions. Okay, so now the next question is naive Bayes a linear classifier? Can it solve non-linear decision boundary? Okay, so yes, naive Bayes is a linear classifier, and you can refer this link. Please refer this link so that you can know in more details like how the author of this paper he has proved that naive Bayes is a linear classifier. He has used logarithmic, and you will find it. Naive Bayes is something into something. You are multiplying. The probability, and again you are multiplying the conditional probability. And he has used logarithmic, and then it has summed it up. Okay, so this multiplication has summed it up, and now he tells that naive Bayes is a linear classifier. Please refer this paper. Okay, so the next question is, okay, so out of naive Bayes and logistic regression, which one is better? Okay, so I have summed this answer up, but if you want to know, go through more details to the mathematical mathematical details, please refer to this paper by Mr. Dr. Andrew Ng of Stanford. Like you can know more about it. Okay, so basically your logistic regression it's a discriminative model. Okay, I'll explain you what's a discriminative model. And your naive Bayes, okay, it's a generative model. Okay, so basically the paper tells that when the training size reaches infinity, your logistic regression it works better than naive Bayes. Okay, so as your training size is reaches infinity, your logistic regression it is better than naive Bayes. Okay, but but for very few data, okay, for a very small amount of data, your logistic regression works doesn't work better than naive Bayes. Okay, so basically the author has proved this in the paper. So now what is the difference between a generative model and a discriminative model? Okay, so the answer is very simple, that say you have a input data x and you want to classify the data into labels y. Okay, so you have x and you are given x and you have to classify from x, you have to predict y. So generative model, it learns the joint probability distribution p of xy. Okay, p of xy is learned by the generative model. So the generative model, it's naive Bayes. So naive Bayes, it tries to learn p of xy. Okay, whereas a discriminative model learns the conditional probability distribution p of y for the given x. Okay, so this is the basic difference between a discriminative model and a generative model. So the now one more thing is, so this algorithm, it tries to compute p of y for a given x to classify x into this class y. So this is why this model are called discriminative algorithm. This is because they create a distinction, whereas generative algorithm model p of xy, which can be transformed into p of y for the given x by using the Bayes rule. Okay, so one computes p of your y for a given x. So this is your discriminative model. Okay, and whereas your generative model, it computes the joint probability distribution p of x comma y. Then it, from this p of x y, it models p of y x. So as they are generating something out of something, so these are called as your generative models, whereas these are called your discriminative models. Okay, so now moving on to the next one. So now a question could be asked, what the complexity of naive Bayes algorithm? The naive Bayes algorithm has complexity of O of CD, order of CD. Okay, this is a space complexity, where C is the number of classes and D is the number of features. If you see, like you can have something around n iterations or something, like you can say the time complexity is order of n c d. Okay, so time complexity you can tell order of n into c and d, whereas the space complexity is order of c into d, where c is the number of classes and d is the number of features. Okay, so now the next question can be, why is naive Bayes prone to overfitting? Okay, sorry, it's a wrong thing. Like naive Bayes is not prone to. It should be, why is the naive Bayes not prone to overfitting? Okay, please rectify. It's not prone to overfitting. Okay, so the complexity of naive Bayes is very less, because there are less number of hyperparameters. So as there are less number of hyperparameters, so naive Bayes is immune to overfitting and it overfits very less. You can refer to this mathematical machine learning. There is a book called as Mathematical Machine Learning, and you can find a detailed explanation over there. Okay, so now the next question is, how is naive Bayes affected by outliers? Naive Bayes is quite in fact affected by outliers, because see, there is one thing, categorical naive Bayes. Okay, categorical NB. If in test data we have got a new category that is not available in the data, consequently it will have no likelihood probabilities available. Okay, so this will result in 0. So this outlier, it can affect a categorical naive Bayes. So we do something called as Laplace smoothing. Okay, so now the next one is, in Gaussian naive Bayes, it is important to remove the outliers, because outliers will affect the variance and your mean and variance, and all the likelihood probabilities will be affected. Okay, so now there is another one, multinomial naive Bayes. Okay, so some some words, they have very low frequency. So sorry, if something is having very low frequency, it can be outlier, and therefore your multinomial naive Bayes is also affected by outliers. Okay, so now the next thing is that is naive Bayes affected by imbalanced data, and if yes, how to resolve it? Yes, naive Bayes is very much affected by imbalanced data because we are computing probability of occurrence. So if the data is imbalanced, then the probability of occurrence will also be won't be proper. So therefore, to resolve it, we ignore the prior probabilities, or we do undersampling or oversampling. Okay. So now the next question could be like, what is the disadvantages of naive Bayes? Okay. So the main limitation of naive Bayes is the assumption of independent predictor features. Okay, independent predictor features. So now naive Bayes assumes that all the attributes are mutually independent. Okay, so basically it assumes that the various features such as x1, x2 and all, they're independent of each other. So as they're independent of each other, then only we are using the Bayes rule. So, and the second thing is, if a categorical variable has a category in a test dataset which is not observed in the training dataset, then the model will assign a zero probability, like this one what I was talking in categorical naive Bayes. So to solve this, we use a smoothing technique, or something called as additive smoothing or Laplace smoothing. You can go through it and then you can know about it. So now to sum it up, okay, so naive Bayes is quite sensitive to imbalanced dataset and outliers. It is quite sensitive because we are making assumption that the features are independent of each other. So the data should be proper, or else, like, your results can be affected. The second thing is that naive Bayes, it does not suffer from curse of dimensionality, and it can handle multicollinearity among independent variables. Okay, so multicollinearity is the occurrence of high intercorrelation among two independent variables. Okay, so if two or more variables, okay, their correlation is very high, say the Spearman correlation, it's around 1, so this can be, so it can handle this kind of data types also. Okay, so I guess I have talked in detail about all these questions. I have not gone through possibly, the detailed answers. I have tried to limit my answers because I wanted to discuss more number of questions. So please, please search for detailed answers. I have tried to give you the basic answers. Please go through the detailed answers. I think all these questions that I have discussed, they are sufficient for naive Bayes from a theoretical perspective. So if an interviewer, he asks you something from a theoretical perspective about naive Bayes, then I guess this much study of all these questions, they should be sufficient. So thank you, and I hope you like this video.